Risk, the Lord of the Rings. A beginner's guide to conquest in Middle-earth. What is this game? Risk, the Lord of the Rings, is a strategic board game of territorial conquest set across the lands of Middle-earth. Based on the classic Risk formula, this edition blends the world of Tolkien's epic with the familiar mechanics of attack, defend, and fortify, while adding unique elements tied to the fate of the One Ring. Players command armies of the Free Peoples, or the Shadow Forces, battling for control of iconic territories from the Shire to Mordor. The game supports 2 to 4 players and typically runs between 2 and 4 hours. Unlike standard Risk, this version has a built-in narrative urgency. The Fellowship's journey with the ring acts as a countdown that can end the game early. The two sides, the Free People's elves, men, hobbits, and dwarves, stand against the Shadow. Their goal is to control territories and help guide Frodo's quest. They command the armies of Gondor, Rohan, Rivendell, and the Shire, the Shadow Forces orcs, Uruk-hai, ring-wraiths, and the armies of Sauron spread darkness across Middle-earth. Their aim is conquest and corruption, and to intercept the ring before it reaches Mount Doom. In a 2-player game, each player controls one side. With 3 or 4 players, some players share a side and must cooperate strategically. The map. Regions of Middle-earth. The board is divided into 6 major regions, each containing multiple territories. Controlling all territories in a region earns bonus armies at the start of your turn. Region notable locations territories. The Shire and Eriador, home of the hobbits. 6. Rovanion, Mirkwood and Dale. 6. Rohan Plains of Rohan. 5. Gondor, Minas Tirith and beyond. 5. Mordor, Land of Shadow. 4. Haraden Rune, Southern Lands. 5. Mordor is a fortress, heavily fortified at the start and extremely difficult to take. The Free Peoples rarely want to invade it directly, but they must keep Sauron's forces from marching outward. How a turn works. 1. Advance the ring. Move the ring token 1 step along the Fellowship's path. If it reaches Mount Doom, the Free Peoples can win. If it reaches the Shadow's corruption threshold first, the Shadow wins. This happens every turn. Time is always running out. 2. Receive armies. You gain new troops based on territories held, 1 per 3 territories, minimum 3, plus bonuses for controlling full regions, plus any armies from turning in adventure cards. 3. Play an adventure card, optional. Before attacking, you may play 1 adventure card for a special power, extra armies, a free move, or a special event. 4. Attack. Attack any adjacent enemy territory as many times as you like. The attacker rolls up to 3 dice, the defender rolls up to 2. Highest dice are compared. Ties go to the defender. 5. Fortify. At the end of your turn, move any number of armies from 1 territory you control to 1 adjacent territory you control. The One Ring, the game's heartbeat. Unlike standard Risk, this game has a timer built into its soul. The One Ring travels a set path toward Mount Doom across a separate track on the board. Each turn it moves forward 1 space. The ring token starts in the Shire and ends at Mount Doom in Mordor. Some adventure cards allow the Shadow player to corrupt the ring, sliding a second marker forward. If corruption overtakes the ring token, Shadow wins immediately. If the ring reaches Mount Doom before it is corrupted, the player with the most territories wins, regardless of who holds Mordor. This creates asymmetric pressure. The Free Peoples want the ring to move fast. The Shadow wants to stall and corrupt. Adventure cards. Adventure cards replace the army cards of classic Risk. You earn 1 by conquering at least 1 territory on your turn. Cards depict characters, artifacts, and events from the story. Gandalf, Aragorn, the Ents, the Eagles. Trade in sets of 3 matching cards, or one of each type, for bonus armies. Certain powerful cards can only be played individually for their special effect, deploying extra armies to a key location, moving troops freely, or advancing or corrupting the ring. Lore tip: hold your adventure cards wisely. A well-timed Gandalf card can reinforce a crumbling border just as the Shadow's armies mass. Playing cards reactively rather than saving them is one of the most common beginner mistakes. How to win victory conditions differ by side and reflect the story's stakes. Free peoples win if the ring reaches Mount Doom, Frodo's quest succeeds, or if they control more territories when the ring arrives there. Shadow wins if the ring is corrupted before it reaches Mount Doom, or if the Shadow controls a majority of territories when the ring completes its journey. In standard play, the game also ends if one side eliminates all of the other's armies. Total conquest is still possible, just rare. Key tips for new players: control the borders, not just the center. Spread thin across Middle-earth, and you will be picked apart. Concentrate on 2 or 3 regions and build walls of armies on your borders before reaching inward. Watch the ring. Always new players often forget that the ring track dictates pacing. The Shadow must prioritize corruption cards. The free peoples must balance expansion with card management so they can sprint at the end. Dice favor the defender. Ties go to the defender. Never attack unless you have at least a 2.1 advantage in armies. Throwing 3 dice against 2 defenders with equal numbers will bleed you dry over time. Rohan and Gondor are the pivot. The central territories connecting north and south are the most contested. Whoever holds this bridge controls reinforcement lines for both sides. Don't cede them without a fight.